Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. This is Reservations, and I'm Jeremy Blair.
And you mean to tell me April fooled this guy? I don't believe it. That joke won't land, especially because this episode's coming out after April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought of that 5 seconds ago, and I was like, "Yeah, we're just gonna go for it."
Sure, why not?
I guess this is my thing. I do bits now instead of saying and when I'm Rain Wayland. I don't know. I haven't fully decided, but I was like, you know what? I did one not last week, but did one last episode. I'm like, guess I gotta do another one. I mean,
so let me bring people back in. Since our hiatus, because this is coming out super late. I've watched a ton of movies. Okay,
dude, you texted me and I was like, his brain's broken. Like, like what whiplash you've given yourself.
I know. And then I watched more since then. So I watched in a very short amount of time. I saw Ballerina, the John Wick spinoff.
Anonymous. Nice.
I saw Marty Supreme. I saw Zootopia 2. I saw 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple.
Nice.
The Testament of Anne Lee. And then this movie for this show. And yeah, I mean, I have some opinions on some of these things. I really enjoyed Zootopia 2. Let's get that out of the way.
So let me ask you, because I've asked a lot of people. So I love the first Zootopia movie. Yeah. I think it's fantastic. Not only is it a good buddy cop comedy, whodunit, but it's also a really good lesson in teaching kids about institutionalized racism and so how do they tackle more racism? They just double down on it.
Yeah, they just double down on the racism because and it's funny because it touched on some bigotry that I hold, specifically against the Cajun people of Louisiana. I'm joking. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, it's great. It's fun. Freaking the references that they're throwing in this movie is stellar.
I saw something where it's like, man, I saw the same thing where someone was like, these references are amazing.
Yeah, they're crazy, dude. Ballerina, rad as hell. That movie is awesome. I really enjoyed it a bunch.
Yeah, because it takes place between the second and third movie, right?
He doesn't have his finger. That was 2, right? We had to cut it off? It had to be.
Hang on. 3.
Was it 3? Then it's in between 3 and 4.
Because 2 ends with him killing.
That's right. Oh, that's right.
The person that guy in the Continental.
That's right. And he walked out to the desert. Listen.
Yeah, in the third one.
We need to do an episode of all 4 of these because,
dude,
I am obsessed with just this imaginary fantasy world where maybe a third of the population are contract killers, Dude. And I'm obsessed. Anyway, so Ballerina was rad. Okay, you gotta see it. I will tell you that there's one scene in particular where I was like, I have to text my dad right now. Because this is wild shit going on right now. It was crazy. It was so good. Testament of Anne Lee was interesting. It is a biography about Anne Lee, who in the 1700s claimed to be a prophet of sorts, a Christ figure. And and was the head and leader of her own religion. I wasn't really quite clear on the, because I had never heard of this person. Um, I wasn't quite clear on the historical context, but they did it like a musical. And
Oh,
so that
okay.
was really interesting. To me, it felt like if you were to watch The Witch, you take out the scary bits, but you leave tone, cinematography, and time period, and then you sprinkle in a musical on top, and then you put in religious elements more so than even The Witch had, and you got yourself this movie, and it was pretty cool. I may need to give it a second watch later on down the line. And then, of course, to top it all off, the Bone Temple was so good.
Well, and I've heard that they're gonna start filming a third one.
Good.
That follows up with this one.
Good. Because there is a cliffhanger.
I did.
So
yeah, I was gonna say I did read that there's
major cliffhanger. A couple of loose threads. One of them is like a big deal. So both are on Netflix right now. 28 years later, and then the Bone Temple are both on Netflix. So that's how I watched it. So check that out. Oh, and Marty Supreme. Sorry, I just completely sorry. And it's not that it's a bad movie, because it is a good movie, right?
Well, and as we determined, even though I love Benny, I think Benny is definitely a little bit more charismatic than Josh. Josh clearly has the sauce.
Well, Josh seemed to have the pacing, because this movie is very much reminiscent of Good Time or Uncut Gems. It's a little bit different to where it's like,
because it's kind of like a dramedy, right?
I mean, yeah. Yeah. It was okay. Like, Timothy Chalamet was good, sure.
What you're saying is Timmy never was going to win Best Actor.
I mean, if he had, I would have been surprised, because I mean, he's doing some decent work here, and of course, like, it's he's doing the work that the movie needs, right? I mean, it's like,
right.
He's not doing the movie a disservice by any means. Like, I just didn't vibe with it as much. It's so weird. Like, I find myself now constantly, with every passing year, being like, this was the most popular movie? I didn't really vibe with it. It's like this one, Anora. I just didn't vibe with that. I don't know what it is.
I think you've got the same thing as I do. I don't like it when people overhype things. Like, this is another reason why you and I are such good friends, because you don't overhype anything for me. Like, you'll tell me once, like, oh yeah, it was rad. You got to check it out. And that's it. That's all I need. But, then I've talked to other people, at work or other friends that overhype things. I'm like, I'm not going to watch it if you're going to keep doing that. Like, or I will eventually watch it. And like you, I'd be like, yeah, it was fine. Like, the first Wonder Woman film. Like, don't get me wrong, Patty Jenkins, great writer, director. Yeah. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
It was a good superhero movie.
Sure.
But, everyone on the internet, even my own wife, was like, oh my God, it's so good.
Well,
it's...
And I'm like, in Wonder Woman's defense, it's like, oh, finally a good one.
That's true, too. Yeah, that's true, too.
I think it was the one after Batman v Superman. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
So I think with that one, it was sort of like, oh my God, finally this one's good, or at least not terrible. But I liked Wonder Woman. It was fine.
Yeah, but maybe you're like that. You're becoming like that. You're like, just don't overhype it. Like, maybe. Shut your mouth.
Maybe. I mean, parts of it I really liked. Overall, I found the character of Marty to be harder to root for than Pattinson in Good Time or Sandler in Uncut Gems. I found him.
I was just about to say, like, is it
like, I just?
I remember you telling me that, like, he's written for the audience to be not really on his side. And I was just thinking, I was like, Connie, I didn't really like, I understood Connie's motivations, but Connie's not a good person.
Full stop. I wanted him to get away with it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I still, even though he wasn't a great person, he's super creepy. Like, I still was like, he's got to help his brother because I love his brother, And with Sandler and Uncut Gems, it's more of, it's because it's Sandler. And
it's the Sandman,
right? In this one, whatever. I just didn't, maybe it was the mindset I was in at the time. Although I was excited to watch it because I even rented it. You know what I mean? It was cheap, but still, like I fully wanted to watch this, but I don't know what to tell you. There was one more thing I was going to say before we get started, and it was probably okay. So before we move on to the episode itself. I do want to make it perfectly clear on this show that my hatred, full hot-blooded hatred for Kevin O'Leary,
dude,
is probably a little bit of why I was having a hard time with Mario Supreme, because he's disgusting. I hate Kevin O'Leary.
Dude, fuck that guy. Ashley's Meemaw loves Shark Tank. And like I enjoy watching Shark Tank, but anytime Kevin opens his fucking mouth, I'm like, Mark Cuban, will you please like slap him?
I gotta be honest with you, it's like I could have sworn it was a bit. Like he's just being like this for the cameras, right? No. Or if he is, because I don't know him in real life. So, I mean, it could still be like a shtick that he's doing to gain attention and notoriety so he can continue to make an obscene, disgusting amount of money all the time.
Well, I mean, he also called out Billie Eilish, and you don't talk bad about Billie Eilish. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, so Kevin O'Leary is gross. He's gross in the movie too. So I mean, like, he's not doing any acting in the movie.
Yeah, dude, I will never understand that decision from Josh. To cast him in the movie. Like when I saw that, I was like, maybe it's just like a one-off, like quick little scene, because our boy Tyler Creator is also in the movie.
That's right.
And I was super excited for that.
He's good.
And but when I saw Kevin, I was like, God damn it, why the fuck is he here?
I know, it's awful.
And then I saw a lot of scenes from the movie, and I'm like, God damn it, he's like important to the plot.
He is. He's very important. It's awful, I know.
Now, before we get into the episode, I'll update you on things that I haven't watched. I haven't watched fucking nothing. Ashley and we're almost done with Twin Peaks.
Cool.
We got the finale left.
Oh man.
I know. We got to the spoiler alert, everyone. If you haven't seen The Return yet.
Yeah, so you're on the actual end. So you're on The Return, just to be clear. Okay.
Yeah. We were, it's getting close to Cooper time traveling.
Yeah.
And I'm like telling Ashley, I'm like, this is going to break your brain. And I keep like looking over at her and like, because I distinctly remember when I saw that episode and Cooper fucking time travels, dude, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, he's like,
it's all going to come together.
Fire Walk with me, and you're like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of like, for those listening, very stone-faced. And so I was like, all right, do you have questions? Do you have questions? And she was like, no, I'm confused. I'm like, okay, well, what can I do? And she's like, I've just accepted it. I'm like, I've accepted that I'm going to be confused.
Cool.
Well, she was really tired when we watched the penultimate episode, and I was like, do you want to watch the finale? We got one episode left. And she was like, no, let's save it.
For her, it's a long one too, so good for her.
Yeah, and yeah, it's gonna break her brain more than the time travel one.
Yeah, definitely.
But I asked her, I was like, well, are you still enjoying it though? Because she really liked the first 2 seasons. And she was like, yeah, I definitely like the original run more though.
That's fair.
And I'm like, okay, why? And she was like, well, just because, it was like a quirky little mystery. And she was like, and this is, I was like, is it too weird? And she was like, yeah. I'm like, that makes sense.
That's fine.
I was like, it's because I haven't fully exposed her to Lynch. Like I told her once we finish this, maybe we should watch. I think she'd really vibe with Lost Highway. Because fuck, I love Lost Highway. And I think I've told her that she needs to watch Mulholland Drive as well. Because I told her at least Mulholland Drive has answers.
Yeah, we can help you with that.
But yeah, I've just been mainly kind of keeping up to date with like upcoming movies. Like, did you see the trailer for Backrooms?
No.
Holy Jesus, that's gonna be scary as fuck, dude.
I did break down and I watched the newest longer, like, because at first it was like a few like seconds, but this one was like the longer one for Hokum. I watched that.
Oh, I haven't watched that yet.
And now I have to like, that's it. Like, I don't want to, like, don't give me anything longer. Like, I'm good, right? Now I would really have to like, Backrooms. I might just try to stay as in the dark as I can.
Yeah, don't. So hang on, everyone. We're gonna get to the episode
Eventually.
No, yeah, no, we're gonna get there. I'll leave it after this. So yeah, definitely don't get on YouTube and search Backrooms, because the creator of the series on YouTube is directing the movie. He wrote and directed the movie. I've kind of wanted to start watching the series, even though I don't think the series is going to have any bearing on the plot of the movie.
Probably.
I think the movie's going to have a whole new plot, but I'm like you, I'm like, I kind of want to go in blind, because the trailer,
I don't know,
fucking freaked me out.
I don't know anything about it. Like, I know what it is, but I don't know anything about it. So
yeah, the trailer freaked me out, and I was like, that's good enough. But well, with that being said, everyone, so now you know what Jeremy's been up to. I've been up to nothing.
That's not true.
Which sucks, because there's a lot of movies. Well, that's true. But today we are discussing my pick, and we were talking about the 1954 adaptation of the Jules Verne novel 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And as I learned, Disney did technically do a remake in 2024.
Is that right?
As a Disney Plus original. Because when I started watching it and I searched it, this one and another one came up on Disney Plus, and I was like, huh. And the other one says Disney Plus original.
Interesting.
Like, I don't remember that, but we're not talking about that one. We're talking about this one. So was this a first watch for you as well, dude?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I distinctly remember growing up. I think I said it in the tease last week, of my grandparents having this on, I think it was either VHS or DVD, and I was so kind of freaked out by the poster on it that I never wanted to look at it. And when I told my uncle that we were going to be doing this, he was like, "Oh man, I love that movie." And my uncle is only 2 years older than me, and he's like, "That movie's so good. I love that movie." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Honestly, I was kind of shocked. I knew it was going to be good, but I will be honest, there are moments where I was like, okay, nothing's happening.
Yeah. I agree. There were some lulls, right? Do I think the movie is too long? Yeah. I think the movie might be too long. But
yeah.
That being said, it's a great movie. That being said,
it is. Yeah. No, I fully agree, dude. When I saw that runtime, 2 hours and 7 minutes, I was like, what?
Wow. 2 hours of action? No.
Yeah. I was like, damn, here we go, man. And I'll be honest, the movie is a little deceptive. Because I'm gonna be real, I was sold with the fucking curtain opening, dude.
Oh, I know.
What?
That was
I was like,
great.
let's fucking go, bro.
Yeah.
And then we opened the movie with an explosion. I was like, yes. And that's not what we get the whole movie.
They know how to get you hooked, man. That's the Spielberg school of getting you hooked, you know?
I know. I wonder if Spielberg took his cues from
Must
this,
have.
you know?
He's like, dude, they're doing explosions and shit. Like, this guy, Indiana Jones, like, he's gonna almost get run over by a bolt. You know, that's how we're gonna start.
I'm gonna kill Harrison Ford.
Yeah, you know, yeah, first watch for me. Okay. I'm trying to think, like, this might be no, maybe. This might be the first Kirk Douglas movie I've ever seen.
I'm
trying to think of
for
other
me.
ones. Because I have not seen
Ace in
Paths
the
of Glory
Hole.
yet, and I haven't seen Ace in the Hole yet. I was trying to remember if he was in like Doctor
Spartacus?
Strangelove or something. I don't think he was.
No.
So
this definitely was the first Kirk Douglas movie I've ever seen, for sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen Spartacus either. So yeah, I think this might be it. So that's kind of crazy. I was also
if you ever meet Michael Douglas, don't tell him.
I was a little disappointed that Hugh Laurie kind of didn't look like Hugh Laurie anymore. At this stage of his life.
You mean Peter Lorre?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Peter Lorre. His eyes were different because, like, I guess he had gained more weight in his face, and so, like, he doesn't have the classic Peter Lorre face, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, he gets off that that buggy or whatever. I go, oh, that's Peter Lorre, you know? I'm like, okay. You know?
Yeah, I kept forgetting he was in the movie.
I know.
I was like, oh, that's right, it's Peter Lorre. Yeah, especially I would forget until we got kind of like a close up. I'm like, oh, that's right, yeah, that's Peter Lorre. Yeah. But yeah, you know, man, it was so interesting, you know, and this is another reason why I picked the movie, is that this is also a Disney movie, because it doesn't feel like a Disney movie. Granted, I grew up not watching a lot of the live action Disney movies until I got older. I grew up with a lot of the animated films. But this doesn't feel like a Disney movie. But then simultaneously it does, because it opens with the book opening in the beginning. And I was like, oh, that's very Disney, you know. But then I'd be watching it, and you know, Kirk Douglas is so charismatic.
Right.
I'm like, oh, that's right, this is a Disney movie. I would constantly forget.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I would say that there are moments where it kind of feels a little Disney-ish, but overall, no. I mean, Nemo is such a nihilist, and he is like, I mean, we'll get to it once you're done with your thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a darker sort of story, streamlined for Disney, obviously, because the novel is a collection of serialized storytelling, like David Copperfield, or more recently, The Green Mile, was written one part at a time.
Gotcha. Okay.
But anyway, do your thing, and then I'll jump in with all this other stuff.
Yeah. So 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea follows Professor Pierre Aronnax, and his assistant Conseil, played by Peter Lorre, and Professor Pierre is played by Paul Lucas, who are trying to go on an expedition to study the sea, because that's what I'm just going to call him the Professor, because the rest of the characters just call him the Professor. That's what he has really wanted to study. You know, one might say it's marine biology, but they didn't have that in 1989 or 1889. But every time what seems like they try to go out on the open ocean, it's canceled due to a monster. Until the U.S. government approaches the professor, that they will essentially fund a trip for him to maybe hopefully put an end to this monster rumors. And along the way, he can gather research that he needs. On the expedition, he meets Kirk Douglas, his character Ned Land, who honestly steals every scene he's in.
Agreed.
Like I feel like they knew Kirk Douglas was like, they're like, this guy's the star. Like, we got to give him more scenes. The expedition turns up, yields no results. So they decide to head back to shore to Saigon until they are attacked by what they think is a monster. Come to find out, it is the Nautilus, helmed by the, as you said, which is a good descriptor, the nihilist Captain Nemo, played by James Mason. And they are essentially kind of shanghaied. Ned, the professor, and Peter Lorre's character. They are essentially shanghaied into the Nautilus because Captain Nemo is essentially kind of, in a way, playing mind games with them. Not treating them as a guest, but not really treating them as prisoners. In a way, trying to win over the professor to his way of thinking of that the world is unjust, unfair, but the sea is where things can be peaceful and people can have everything they need down in the sea. But Ned's not having any of that, and any chance he gets, he tries to escape or get help or anything, which all culminates in a a quick escape from, what island was it? New Guinea, where they are chased by cannibals and they have to make a quick escape, and they are targeted by a warship, and this is where the Nautilus gets hit by the warship and attacked by a giant squid. I'm yada yada overing a lot because there's just so much that happens. Eventually, a lot of the messages in a bottle that Ned has been throwing out get found, received by warships that invade Captain Nemo's island. He is fatally shot and decides to go down with the ship, and the crew are going to go with him. But Ned and the professor and his assistant are like, we're not having any of that. And they hightail it out of there, and that is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Cool.
Like I said, I yada yada over a lot because for a movie, and we'll talk about it, that there are these lulls in the action and in the expedition. There's so much that happens. Like, there's so much going on while nothing is going on, you know?
I mean, yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with them having to streamline a story that comes from sort of just an episodic series of events from the novel. I mean, good job. I mean, it's like, you know, I don't know what else I would have done. You know what I mean? Like, that seems like a good job to me. I'm so glad I was waiting for like the ending when you were doing your synopsis, because I was a little bit drunk by then, and I kind of don't remember.
Yeah.
So,
well, and we'll get to it. Yeah, keep going.
So, okay. A few things about this movie that I find fascinating and amazing. It's the second movie shot on CinemaScope. That's why it looks so incredible, right? Kirk Douglas, I mean, yes, he is very charismatic. He is, you know, a powerhouse on screen. I mean, he is magnetic. But he's also unfairly very talented. He learned how to play the guitar for this movie very quickly. And when he did, he also learned how to do that flip thing with the guitar. So, like, he came up with that. Like, they didn't tell him to do that. Like, where he's sort of, like, throwing it and bringing it back to himself, you know? I was mesmerized by that. I was like, this is so cool. Like, and he just learned how to do, and like, what are we doing, you know? He's so cool. So, and of course um the climactic giant squid scene is so cool. Um
Yeah. Yeah.
it's amazing, right? And I did see a clip while I was doing my research of early footage of what it was supposed to look like. It was supposed to take place in
Mm.
the daytime. The sun was out, and they were on top of the Nautilus fighting off the giant squid. And you could see the wires, like it looked cheesy, whatever. I don't know whose idea it was. It may have been Disney's idea to Walt Disney, not the corporation, but the person. Um,
Right. Yeah. Walt was still alive.
to have it during a storm in the dark, so it's a little bit more cinematic, and you can hide a lot of the tricks, right? It's that,
Hmm.
and you can hide the squid better because it's scarier if you don't see the whole thing, right? That's always been
Yeah.
true. Steven Spielberg didn't make that up. Okay. Um, it's so cool and it holds up. I mean, honestly, like it is
Hmm.
so much fun to
Agreed.
watch. Um, and honestly, every underwater scene blew me away.
Agreed.
Everyone.
I was like, how did they do that?
I know.
And of course I know how they probably did it. They probably got a tank and, filled it up, and they probably had actual divers.
Yes and no. They did shoot in the Bahamas, so they're in the ocean.
Oh.
So
Oh,
in
okay.
the sea, and yes, they are experienced divers that are body doubles, right, or like stuntmen, essentially, right.
Hmm.
Um, However, the scene where Lad and Consul are trying to get the treasure chest, um,
Uh-huh.
there's a nurse shark that comes in the frame, not supposed to be there. Like the
Oh.
shark just, came into the scene. And I was reading that a lot of them had seen I think the wonderful at that time it was called The Wonderful Color of Disney instead of like The Wonderful World of Disney.
Uh-huh.
And they had done a lot of underwater like documentaries, and so they knew what to do with the shark because they had seen it on like what ABC or whatever. Um, so that was funny. But yeah, so they're doing a lot of this in the ocean, underwater, unpredictable elements, using state of the art waterproof cameras. Um, and it's mesmerizing.
Yeah.
I thought it was so cool.
Yeah. I was so blown away, because, yes, in our day and age, technology has caught up. And so it's, they're able to do a lot of things that, like, they couldn't probably do, obviously, in 1954. But you're right, it holds up. And I'm like, how did they pull that off?
Yeah.
Like, it's truly mesmerizing. Now, obviously, of course, inside the Nautilus itself, it's probably sets,
Yes, that's correct.
or and certain scenes are probably also miniatures. you know
Mhm.
but it's still impressive,
Yeah.
and it's so seamless, and it's it's rad, dude.
Yeah.
um I think things like that is another I'm not saying they did it intentionally, another way to kind of distract you from the lulls, because it's like, well, hey, it's really gorgeous to look at, and you're
Water.
I mean, it is,
It's
though.
cool.
Like, it's really cool to look at. I just wish something was happening.
I know.
uh Now, okay, I I'm a little ashamed to admit my knowledge of 20,000 Leagues in the Sea was very limited, and very limited to one other movie, which was uh League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, interesting.
Um because, the Nautilus and Captain Nemo are in
Right.
that movie.
I remember.
Um yeah, the movie that got Sean Connery to stop acting. Um and so I always knew that Captain Nemo was sort of, pessimistic, but yeah, James Mason plays him again, like you said, is such a nihilist that he does not believe in the goodness of humanity. He does not believe that the world is fair, and he would rather be under the sea, and he's content. And it's such an interesting take on a character who is one of our main cast,
Yeah.
like, and also again, just like Kirk Douglas, he's very charismatic,
Agreed.
for being so like, no, like, the world is over, like,
Yes.
and I'm not going back, like, and like, I kind of see why the professor kind of falls for it,
Sure.
like, he makes a lot of good points, but the professor, and I think, which is so interesting, I'm assuming the book, or at least I'm just going to take it at the value of the movie, the professor is a forever optimist, and sort of like a good yin to Nemo's yang,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And poor lad, he's just there.
Yeah.
He just got roped into this,
Yeah.
And so, but I liked Lad and Conceal's repartee.
Yeah.
Their comic relief was much needed. I enjoyed them very much. Now, we got a little dicey with maybe like is a tiny bit racist. I would say very racist. The cannibals on the island. I was like, like, there it is. I found it.
And what's crazy, I was rewatching some things today, and I'd kind of glossed over that.
Sure.
Because I wasn't paying attention a lot. I was just trying to get through the movie. And I'm watching it. I'm watching it on my iPad, and Ashley's watching something on the TV. And I'm like showing her, I'm like, man, this, like, look how gorgeous it is. I was like, this movie was made in 1954. Isn't that insane? And then I turned my iPad around, and that's when we see the first cannibal climbing up the tree. And I'm like,
Yep.
just like, it, like, yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah. But it makes me wonder, though. It does make me wonder if Gore Verbinski used this movie as inspiration for the cannibals in Dead Man's Chest, the second Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Yeah,
because
it is what I thought about when the scene popped up. I was like, oh, it's it must have been the inspiration for Jack Sparrow's talk.
Yeah, especially with being chased into the ocean, but unlike those cannibals, these cannibals are at least smart and built boats, and we're like, no, we're gonna chase after you.
Well, okay, yeah. So, this brings up a good segue to the Nautilus itself, because whenever the cannibals are on the Nautilus, they flip a switch and it's electrified, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know if that's in the book. Couldn't tell you. However, what is in the book is, yes, the use of electricity, and also the use of nuclear energy. Which the Nautilus is sort of like, in the movie, it's implied that it's run out of nuclear energy. But in the book, I think it's stated that it is
overtly said
it's nuclear energy. And Jules Verne sort of like predicted the innovative use of nuclear power, because that wasn't prevalent at that time when he wrote the novel, which is fascinating. Also, I'd like to mention that my subconscious made a connection last week when I was teasing this, because I brought up that I think of this movie the same way I think about Around the World in 80 Days, and they're both written by Jules Verne. I had no idea. So,
yeah. Also, we should mention that we discovered that off mic, you were also referring to the remake with Jackie Chan.
I had
Steve
not seen
Coogan.
the original. That's correct.
Neither have I. I've only seen.
It's awful.
I've only seen the Jackie Chan Steve Coogan version. And God bless those two. They tried to make that movie engaging.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
Mm.
Okay, but speaking of funny, kind of maybe not touching on the touchy subject of the cannibals. The comedic timing in this movie is really good.
Yeah.
Which of course I'm like, why should I be surprised? You know, Disney 1954, like their comedic chops are like on another level. Like I even liked the cartoony fight at the beginning of the movie with Land and like the drunkards where they all pick him up. Or no, he gets punched and does the whole like Tweety Bird, ooh, and then falls face down in the mud. And then they pick him up and throw him through a window. Or no, he punches someone through a window. Like, I really like that. It didn't take me out of the realism of the movie. Because I was like, well, and this is one of the few times I was like, oh, it's a Disney movie. Like, they got to have this kind of cartoony violence.
Sure.
And then fast forward to the squid fight, and I'm like, oh, this is not cartoony at all.
Yeah.
Like, this is some high stakes right here. Also, no, not also, sorry. But no, I was like, this movie is a lot funnier than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I figured Act 1, it was going to be kind of light. And then once they got on the Nautilus, it was going to be, okay, like, we're on the Nautilus now. All hell's going to break. Tonally, this movie's going to change. And I would say it does, but not from like if the Act 1 is at a 4 to like a 9. I would say it goes from 4 to like a 6.
Sure. Yeah, because you have Esmeralda the Seal.
Yeah, dude. I showed Ashley the scene when she rolls herself up in the blanket. She's like, oh, that's so cute.
Cute.
But I bet there was not a lot of good handlers on set for 1954. And I'm like, yeah, probably not.
Couldn't tell you. It is the only movie she ever did. So
that's upsetting.
I looked on IMDb. I mean, maybe she did and it's just not logged, but I'm pretty sure they're on top of stuff like that. So
yeah. Someone at IMDb, their main job is just to do the animals.
That's right.
Okay. Let's talk about the thing that they're clamoring for, which is the squid fight.
Sure.
I will say, not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed. We're 30 minutes left in the movie, and then the squid shows up. Like,
I know. Well,
like, I guess
it got my attention back. So, I mean, there's that.
That's true. That's true. I was like, I don't care that. Like, sure, we have this tension now, the Nautilus sinking,
mm-hmm.
But I kind of don't care because they fixed it almost like that.
Yeah, I know.
And then the squid shows up. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah, Peter Lorre said that the squid had gotten that role over him. He goes, yeah, I had to settle for this one, but the giant squid got that job. It was meant for me, but it's fine.
Yeah, and this guy played a child murderer.
I know,
so that's saying something.
Yeah, that's why he's...
shout out to our M episode. But yeah, man, like, because like what you were saying is so true. Like that, having it at night and during a thunderstorm, like stakes are really through the roof. Because even though like, Nemo and his crew have pretty much proven like they're not good people.
Sure. You're
still like, oh my God, like, oh shit,
right.
Like, oh, it's got Nemo now, and it's knocking crew members off the Nautilus, and like I truly was like, fuck, man, like, what's gonna happen if Nemo dies? Like, what,
I know.
Like, what are they gonna do? Like, I guarantee you, his first mate's not gonna take over. And then Kirk Douglas comes in and saves the day.
Of course.
Literally, but it's so fascinating that they were able to pull this off so well.
Mm-hmm.
I would say if you look back on other films from, what would be considered old Hollywood, black and white films, and, and even early color films, especially monster movies, the monsters aren't, maybe they were scary for the time, but looking at it through a modern lens, you're like, yeah, cool.
Right.
I will say I was still very impressed with
Yeah.
this. Like, even though, like, yes, it's, probably the mouth is an animatronic and the tentacles are on wires. I was like, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
I'm worried for the crew. Like, this holds up,
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Um, although I didn't like, because Ashley leaned over at one point and she even went, ew. I didn't like that its beak would retract into, like, oh, I didn't like that.
Gross, yeah.
Because even Ashley Ashley was like, oh, the beak ussy. Like, ugh, no. I'm like, yeah, that's a little gross. I don't like that.
That's funny.
I don't trust like that.
Because
But other than
oh,
that,
God.
I was still really impressed. And honestly, I was kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, I had forgotten that we still had 30 minutes left in the movie.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I can't believe this how this is gonna end. And I was like, wait, we have like 30 minutes left.
Yeah, there's still a bunch left, yeah. In the novel, Nemo's fate is left ambiguous. Because he does return in another Jules Verne novel as Nemo. So, well, obviously because it's the written word, but like he shows up again in another book, which means he was alive, right? This one, I think it's sort of like, nah, you know.
Do you think the screenwriter did that? Because Land saves him. Do you think he did that in the hopes that he could remind the audience what kind of Nemo's like core myth is that people aren't inherently good? Like,
I don't know.
Because he tells
it could be a standards and practices decision.
Oh yeah.
Well,
that's
because
right.
back then, okay, we've discussed this before in other episodes where, well, I mean, of course we have, but like endings and sort of outcomes for villainous characters, antagonists, sort of have to go a certain way. If you were watching movies during the Hays Code, during the enforcement of the Hays Code, not just the in general Hays Code, then it's sort of like, well, he kind of is the bad guy,
Yeah.
he has this outlook on life that isn't necessarily popular or seen as like a traditional philosophy on how people should see the world, right? So maybe that's why he kind of had to die at the end, or at least heavily implied that he is dead. Because I don't think he's coming back from that, but that's just me. So it could, I didn't look this up, but I feel like that might have had to have been
that makes sense.
A code issue.
That makes sense. Because I did have that thought too. I was like, like it's 1954. This movie is rated G.
Yeah.
I'm sure they probably couldn't just. But it's interesting though that like you're right. It's implied that he does eventually die because the Nautilus sinks with him still aboard. But yeah. But I do find it interesting that, Land saves him, but I would say maybe you would appreciate that he doesn't have like a 360.
No,
not
you're
like,
right.
Oh, this one good act has made me like renewed my faith in humanity.
Yeah, no, he's still like, super upset. Which fair, Yeah. I also like that he isn't sorry, he isn't doing it for monetary gain. He uses treasure he finds just to rebalance the ship. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it needs to be, like, sort of equally balanced throughout the submarine to work, right? And that's what he uses
Mm-hmm.
the treasure for.
Yeah.
Um, so not only does he not see the value in everyday people or humanity, but he also doesn't see the value of the capitalistic society either, because he's just like, it's just stuff to me,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that we find. And of course, Lad is just like, he's champing to to get that treasure,
Yeah. Yeah. And, and I like that the film doesn't overtly say why Land saved him, but I guess, implied that, Land is our, kind of our scoundrel with a heart of gold character. That, like, deep down,
Yeah.
he's a good
I
person.
mean, he's not, Nemo didn't let them die or anything,
Yeah.
Um, I mean, he's like no fun to be around, but
That's true. Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, and Lad is sort of, he is obviously our, like he's our protagonist, he's our hero, because he's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dude. And also, I want to know how many times it was written in the script that he doesn't wear a shirt, or if that was just a Kirk Douglas thing.
God, it feels like a Kirk Douglas thing, doesn't it? It feels
Yeah,
like,
he's like,
I'm just gonna pop this out.
he's like, like, I'm gonna do this scene. I'm gonna do the scene shirtless, and they're like, Kurt, you don't have to do that. No, I'm gonna do it.
And he's that weird 1950s fit,
Yeah.
where he's sort of busting out of his pants a little bit, but they're too high.
Yeah. But also, he's got that one gold earring.
So cool.
Like, dude, he's so cool.
I know.
Yeah. No wonder Michael Douglas had to marry Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah.
His dad's got the drip,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Michael Douglas had his time where he was like,
That's true.
the dude couldn't keep it dry for like a decade. All right.
I mean, and Michael Douglas is still a very talented actor.
Right.
I mean, I'm so glad he has fun doing the Ant-Man movies.
Like, I mean, he's just having a good time.
Like, I've heard him say that, like, it's the most fun he's ever had. I'm like,
cool.
That makes me happy. Like, that makes me happy. Yeah. Okay. So I feel like we're approaching the end, but there is a few more things I wanted to talk about with the film, which is sort of like its legacy, because it did win
it did win a few Academy Awards.
Academy Awards, yeah. Let me double check. It's
mostly visual, if I remember correctly.
They received 3, 1, 2 for best art direction and best special effects.
Makes sense.
Which, yeah, for 1954, yeah.
Well,
for sure.
I liked the overlay of animation. I think that's sort of like what your 2 picks have had in common so far, which is like the use of animation for like the fish, for instance. Like there's a scene where the professor's looking outside of the big giant window of the Nala, and I mean it's the same animation looped over, but it's like the school of fish that sort of swim by. And then the electricity on top of the Nautilus. I liked that the use of animation was still used, and not overused.
Yeah.
I thought it was, perfectly utilized within the story itself. It was a good job.
For sure, yeah. And it's so fascinating, the legacy of this movie, because I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that Disney used one of the models for the Nautilus for their for one of the rides at Disneyland, and then in Disneyland Paris they built a walkthrough attraction called the Mysteries of the Nautilus.
Oh, fun.
And they recreated the what we see in the film, and it's the movie clearly has left its impact not only on film but for Disney as a whole, which I find so fascinating. And also,
I agree. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and also I have seen the Oscar that Walt one for the movie.
Oh, fun.
I think I sent it to you. Maybe Future Rain will put it up if he remembers. They had a walkthrough attraction at Disney World all about Walt, and towards the once it got into when he became Walt Disney, they had a lot of his accolades, and one of them was an Oscar, and it had a little plaque for what it was. I was like, oh, man, there's no way that's the real Oscar. And I was able to get my camera kind of around the plaque because it's obviously in glass, but around the plaque just enough for my camera to see the actual inscription on the Oscar. And I was like, oh fuck, that's his real Oscar. And it said for best visual effects, and I was like,
that's cool.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I would say.
Anyway, what were you saying?
Well, I would say that and this is speculation, okay? And it was so funny that you brought up Dead Man's Chest, because Davy Jones has an organ on his ship that he plays, right? And I'm like, watching this movie, I go, oh, is that what that's a reference to? I just thought it was like a, sort of foreboding thing for, Davy Jones to be doing. And I think it might have been a reference to this.
I think when Gore Verbinski was working on Dead Man's Chest, he was like, I really like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Let's use a lot of that.
Well, and now that I'm thinking about it, it has a lot to do with maybe Davy Jones's personality and character traits as well might have a little bit to do with Captain Nemo. Also, it's interesting. Also, I thought the Nautilus looked a lot like the submarines in Atlantis. Yeah, I thought they looked very similar. So that might have been like a little subtle reference, design for that movie. I don't know. Again, this is all speculation. I haven't looked any of this up, so
I don't know. I feel like it would be, because again, this movie has made such an impact on, like I said, not only filmmaking but also the Disney company as a whole. So I wouldn't be surprised if when they were working on Atlantis, they're like, you know what, like the steampunk design of the Nautilus from the 1954, like let's use that.
Yeah, it looks a lot like it.
Also, controversial take here, and I've said this repeatedly, and I'm pretty sure I've said it on the show. Atlantis should, Disney's so focused on doing these live action adaptations. Instead of doing Moana, give us Atlantis. That would lend itself so well to live action.
I do love the movie Atlantis. I don't know if I agree.
Treasure Planet.
Or Treasure Planet. I've not seen Treasure Planet, but I've heard it's good. I don't know. But yeah, God, I love Atlantis. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie's so good. That should win Best Picture.
That should win Best Picture.
Well, with that being said, buddy, are you ready to wrap up?
I am. It was good. It was a little too long. For me, I live in the future. So like it's hard because, but I can't even say that, I don't have the attention span for this, because I have seen movies where less happens and I'm riveted. So I don't know what my problem is.
No, I agree, man. Because like I said, there were these lulls where I was like, oh my God, we still have like 45 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just because it's very atmospheric, and I think meant to be maybe convey like a sense of like thought provokedness. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I felt the same way. I was like, I've seen a 3-hour-long Batman movie and was perfectly fine.
Well, I've sat and I've watched, my poor dad, I've watched stuff with him and he goes, I can't handle this. Like, how are you enjoying this? I go, I love this. Like like for a Ghost Story, for instance, like that's slower. It's slower paced, right? For your average movie
Yeah.
goer. I would say also, like if you weren't completely aware of everything, if you weren't invested in the zone of interest, you're gonna be bored,
Dude.
right?
Yeah.
It's a movie I might watch tomorrow. I love the zone of interest, but you see what I mean? Like I've
Yeah.
watched movies where less action is happening, right? But I'm still riveted, and so like with this one, I think it was just like I don't know, maybe James Mason lulls me to sleep. I don't know. He has a wonderful dry British accent.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, man, I agree. I still enjoyed the movie, but I was just like, yeah, they're the same for me. Like there are times where I'm just like, please, something needs to happen on screen. Please. Other than just seeing the ocean or something.
Right.
But again, I still enjoyed the film.
Yeah.
And I mean, I understand like why it's so beloved.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah. Well, man, before we get into your next pick, I do have a question for you.
Sure.
Because you were texting me before we got started.
Yeah.
Thinking about you were thinking about my theme.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious.
Uh-huh.
What were you thinking it was?
I was thinking, for those who obviously aren't on our, one-on-one text chain, I texted him the IMDb link to The Computer That Wore Tennis Shoes. It's a Kirk Douglas, right? No, I'm sorry,
Kurt Russell.
Shit, it's a Kurt Russell film from the '60s when he was a child actor. Which my mom, she's seen all of them. She loves the Kurt Russell Disney movies. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I was like, I think what he's doing is he is picking live action Disney films that are from a certain, like from 70 and below, like from 1970 to below. Like that's what I thought you were doing. So I was like, if this is on his list, then I got it. And it was not. So I haven't got it yet still. It's okay.
A part of me wants to tell you.
No, don't. I want to get it.
But the only reason why I want to tell you is because you're close.
Okay.
You're
Neat.
close. That's the only reason why I want to tell you. But I'm like,
oh, and it couldn't be 1970 and below because it was 88 for Roger Rabbit. But
you're close.
Okay, cool.
You're close.
I'll get it.
Like I said, I guarantee you my next pick will give it away,
okay,
and you will figure it out.
Okay.
But it's only because I kind of have like a bit of a method to my madness with my list. But with that being said, man, what are you picking for us next week?
So I was gonna go off my list. I was gonna be like, I'm just gonna pick something at random that's not on the list, and just whatever, don't put me in a box myself. I'm a peacock, right? You kind of let me fly to myself. Like I'm putting myself in this box. But I reread it again. I was going through my list and I go, oh, this will be fun. Because I'm trying to zig your zag, right? Because like I can't pick one of the older films on my list because then we're just doing old and old, and I want to pick something a little newer, fresher, completely different, to sort of give variety to the season. So, whatever. So with that being said, next week, we are discussing the sort of surrealist mystery French Canadian film by Denis Villeneuve, Enemy.
I'm so excited. Yeah. I'm so excited. Excuse me. I came across this movie in a really interesting way. It was when we had our old setup for the show, and Ashley and I were in our old apartment, and I had decided I was going to buy every single A24 film that interested me. I was like, it's got to interest me. If it doesn't interest me, I'm not buying it. Like the fucking what was that one Charlie Sheen movie? Fucking
Oh, sure.
Whatever.
I know exactly.
And a lot of them interested me. Like that's how we ended up doing Under the Silver Lake.
Sure.
Because I bought that. And then I came across this, and I read the synopsis, and I was like, okay. Watched the trailer, and I was like, oh, we got to do it. Like I got to own this movie. And I think it's still on my wish list somewhere.
Okay.
And I've never bought it.
And so you've never seen it?
I've never seen it.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited because I desperately wanted to buy the movie and watch it because, of course, by this point also, I'd seen Blade Runner 2049. I'd seen Dune. I think we had done Sicario by that point too.
Okay.
So I was like, man, no, we'd done Prisoners.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, more Denis Villeneuve, give it to me. And I just never got around to buying it, man. And Jake Gyllenhaal twice.
I know, right?
Let's go.
So this movie, oh man, good luck, buddy. Sorry, good luck trying to find it on Blu-ray. But this movie, I think it's 10 years old. Already.
Okay.
Oh no, it's 12 years old. So, that's right. I had to buy it again because it says I bought it in 2016. That's because I had to buy it again because Keegan stole mine. I let him borrow.
Shout out to Keegan.
I know. Shout out to Keegan. I let him borrow that one and my copy of Take Shelter, and he just kept them. I mean,
he was like,
fair.
You don't want these back, right?
Yeah, like these are mine now, right? Fair, because they're amazing films. But yeah, so I saw it when it came out. Obviously not in theaters because I lived in Midland at the time, and no way, right? But I was, still am a huge Jake Gyllenhaal fan. In fact, the movie I had in mind, other than this one, was going to be a Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Oh,
I know, right? But we'll have to tackle that one another time.
Okay.
It's fine. A hint, we'd have to hop into that one at every time. It's a bunny reference. There's a rabbit in the movie. It doesn't matter. Well, not a real rabbit, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so I saw it, and I wish I want to tell you exactly how I felt when the movie was over, but I can't. Because I don't want to give anything away. But I had a very strong reaction to the ending. Okay? Positive.
Okay.
But it was a very strong reaction. And the movie blew me away. And so I just did a ton of research afterward to understand what was going on. And it makes perfect sense now. And I will guide you through it if you have questions.
Okay.
But it's amazing. And, Villeneuve has this unique style that is just unmatched. It's amazing. Even at this small scale like this is.
I agree. I think, if we haven't said it enough by now, Denis is such a unique filmmaker. I mean, I think that's another reason why his Dune, no offense to R.B. David Lynch, I think that's why his Dune, Denis' Dune, resonates so well, because it's I can't put my thumb on it, man, but yeah, I'm super jazzed.
Cool.
for Enemy.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, everyone, we hope you enjoyed this delayed episode on 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and we will see you next week for Enemy.